Welcome back to Benkei Watches. We are an online Swiss luxury watch dealer based out of Orange County, California. We do watch videos and comparisons so you can figure out what the best watch is for yourself. Check out the details below for this watch. It's available at benkeywatches.com. We are looking at the Omega Seamaster Diver 300 James Bond edition from the movie No Time to Die. This watch takes on the already popular Seamaster, this time with the Diver 300 series. We've seen James Bond wear several Omega watches over the years, like the Casino Royale 300M, the Skyfall Planet Ocean, the Seamaster 300 Spectre, just to name a few. Sure, there are people who would like to see a Rolex on Bond, but I think the guys at Omega are doing a great job with the collaboration with the 007 series. They're putting out amazing watches and making them iconic with the likes of Daniel Craig. If you ask me, it's exciting to see a slightly different version of a great watch on him in each movie. We are going to be looking at what's so great about this watch from Omega and why you might want one for yourself. Now, if you're a James Bond enthusiast and have all kinds of money, there's no question about whether or not to get this watch. It's probably the easiest way to show that you're a James Bond fan, and people will admire the watch for that, not because they think you're James Bond now. The titanium case measures 42 millimeters from left to right. It's almost 50 millimeters from lug to lug, or top to bottom. It's 13 millimeters thick from front to back, and it's 20 millimeters between the lugs. The Grade 2 titanium case is water resistant to 300 meters or 1,000 feet, and it has a helium escape valve that we're probably never going to use, but it's there if you need it. It's a proper dive watch. There are a couple of things that make this watch different than the regular production Diver 300. The case is titanium instead of stainless steel. The bezel is aluminum, not a ceramic, and the case back is solid and not an exhibition case back. The titanium mesh bracelet comes on this watch with an optional NATO strap. This watch is also a little thinner than the 300M Diver because of its domed crystal and closed case back. There's no date function at the 6 o'clock on this watch either. If you haven't noticed by now, Omega paid special attention to make as much of this watch anti-reflective. Everything on the case is a matte or brushed finish. Titanium does a pretty good job of making things subdued. They even put a brushed finish on the hands of the dial. The dark tropical brown dial is an excellent match for the titanium case. The dot index markers have a blue-green glow, and if you light this watch up with a UV light, you can see that even the numbers on the bezel light up. The green lume on the minute hand matches the green pip at the 12 o'clock on the bezel. That way you can track your dive times or maybe parking meter. What do you guys use this function for? To be honest, it kind of irks me when the bezel is off center. Going on to the movement. This watch is powered by a META-certified caliber 8806 self-winding movement with a power reserve of 55 hours. There's no date function in this watch, which you would normally see at the 6 o'clock position of the Diver 300. Instead, Omega applied the broad arrow symbol, which indicates this watch, as property of Her Majesty's government. It's a nice touch. Going on to the bracelet, we are looking at a Grade 2 titanium mesh bracelet with an easy-to-use fold-over deployant. It's a beautiful bracelet, but it might feel a little bulky on a thinner wrist due to the very nature of having 3 layers of metal stacked on top of one another under the wrist. The bracelet feels solid and matches the case very well. However, it feels like it could be made differently to keep the strap more flush with the wrist. It really doesn't impede me from doing anything, so maybe I'm not used to it. If you don't care for the titanium mesh strap, the watch comes with a NATO strap, if you want to change it up. Overall, this watch feels great on my wrist. It weighs only 93 grams, so it doesn't feel clunky. It's easy to match this watch with outfits. The brown is so dark that it looks black in low light conditions. Where there's light, this watch takes on the classic pairing of titanium and dark brown. The faux patina on the watch looks great, and I think it's more readily accepted these days. James Bond seems to have an affinity for Omega watches. Omega is only too happy to oblige. I wonder what's next for him. What do you want to see on this guy's wrist? Another Omega? Thanks for watching this review on the Omega Seamaster No Time to Die edition. If you liked it and want to see more videos like this one, hit that like and subscribe button below. This is Benkei Watches.